Well, good evening, welcome. It's Sunday night. It's the 26th of April and it's BOBCAST. I need to apologise. I got into a right smutty little rendition last night, which I hadn't actually read fully before I started reading it, and so a few bit of innuendo there that perhaps we shouldn't have had. But there we are. It's just one of those things. I hope your Sunday's been okay. Mine's not been bad at all. I haven't done very much really. I got up late-ish, went for a walk. I think I may have had a sleep in the garden at one point. Did various little bits, watched some nonsense on TV, country farm, all that sort of stuff. Not nonsense, but you know what I mean. Just instant sort of things. And then watched Unorthodox, which I'm quite enjoying. Thought it had finished, but we've got another one to go. And there we are. I'm a bit surprised, but I'm a bit worried actually, because a thief broke into my house last night looking for money. So I got out of bed and looked with him, to be honest. Thinking that might be quite a good idea. And yeah, thank you to Kim, who keeps sending me all these terrible jokes, but they do make me smile. Do you know the inventor of the umbrella was going to originally call it Brella, but he hesitated. Oh, that's sort of raining down on you a little bit, isn't it? Just thinking, do I actually want to get involved in this or not? Because it's sort of one of those very strange things. Anyhow, you know, I'm not a fan of the new pound coin. You know, with all the sides on it. You know how they replaced that nice round one, and there's a new one. But then I hate all change. So yes, exactly. I've given up now asking rhetorical questions. I've just got to say, what is the point? What is the point? So there we go. Today, if you've been following the lectionary and readings and things, we've been talking about the road to Damascus, scales full of road to Emmaus, and the people meeting on there and meeting Jesus and things. And I've been thinking quite a lot about roads, really, because many of us spend a lot of time on our roads, and we would quite like to be travelling along them. But of course, we can't really at the moment. It's very odd. It's most bizarre. It's a very strange thing. So I found this, which interested me a little bit. The Lone Ranger and Tonto went camping in the desert. Nice thing to do. Good old Lone Ranger, good old Tonto. And after they got their tent up, both men fell sound asleep. Snoring. Isla's not with me today, by the way. She'll be back tomorrow. She's gone to bed with her mum. And anyhow, after the Lone Ranger and Tonto had fallen asleep, some hours later, Tonto woke up, and he said, I'm just trying to move my scripts a little bit. There we are. And he then wakes the Lone Ranger, and he said, Kimosabi. I don't know if that's politically correct or not. Probably isn't. I apologise if it's not. Look towards the sky and tell me what you see. The Lone Ranger replies, I see millions of stars. Ah, says Tonto, what does that tell you? The Lone Ranger ponders for a moment, and then he says, well, astronomically speaking, it tells me there are millions of galaxies and potentially billions of planets. Astrologically speaking, it tells me that Saturn is in Leo. Time-wise, it appears to be approximately 2:45 in the morning, says the Lone Ranger. Theologically, the Lone Ranger says, it says the Lord is all-powerful and we are small and insignificant. And meteorologically, it says we will have a beautiful day tomorrow. So says the Lone Ranger, what does it tell you, Tonto? Tonto looks at him and says, "You dumber than buffalo. It means to me somebody stole the tent." I know. Why don't French like to eat snails so much? Because they can't stand fast food. And I have to say thank you to Christina, who woke me up this morning. Well, she didn't wake me up this morning, but on her Facebook post this morning, it said this: justice. I'll say that again because I need to get my teeth in. Justice is a dish best served cold, because if it was served warm, it would be just water. You may need to write that down, actually. Justice. Better sold served cold. If it was sold warm, it would just be water. Well, that's a sort of thought, isn't it? So we're heading into another week. Tomorrow's Monday morning. And I find it quite challenging working out what day is which. I don't know about you, because that's just... Well, what day is it? Is it Sunday? Is it Monday? What is it? I watched some good services this morning. I knew I'd done something. Watched Bishop Kevin Pearson, at the moment the Bishop of Argyll in the Isles, and he's going to become Bishop of Glasgow. He did the Episcopal service for the Scottish Episcopal Church. Very good he was too. Belter of a sermon, absolute belter of a sermon. Almost as good. Well, no, yeah, it was a belter of a sermon. Give him his due. It was very good. I watched Pip on from Melrose, very good as well. Always good, always to a point, and brings out something I don't often think about. So that was good. And then I flipped through quite a few other ones, all some balls, and down into some Englandshire, some of the services down there, and then realised that enough was enough. That was it. I wanted to receive some bread and some wine. I'm going to do that in the future, I think. I'm just going to, when I'm watching these, I'm going to have a piece of bread and half a bottle of Bristol cream or something like that. But just to join in that whole communion things. Yes, I've got two boys, 5 and 6. We're no good at naming things in our house, Ed Byrne said at the Edinburgh Festival. I did like that. That was one of those things that made me smile. Now then, you'll notice that the frog has gone. Maybe someone found it in their tent, but the frog has gone from behind my door, and up there instead there is a puppet priest, a model, a knitted bob, knitted for me 25 years ago when I was first ordained by a lovely lady called Dot Green in Hereford. If there's anyone from Hereford listening, and I think there are one or two from Hereford, from Holy Trinity, you'll remember Jim and Dot Green. Great people, lovely. And they had a knitting group that used to meet on a Thursday afternoon, and she knitted that for me very early on, and I'll bring it for you to have a look at, if you like. There he is. He's quite a jolly soul, actually. I'm not sort of into puppets and things, but I quite like him. I think he's rather good with his green stole for common ordinary time. Because he's like me, he's a common ordinary bloke, and yeah. So I was thinking, what shall I do today? Because I told you a couple of jokes, which I thought was pretty good. Well, I thought they were funny. If you didn't think they were funny, that's absolutely fine. I'm rubbish with names. It's not my fault. It's a condition. There's a name for it. Can't remember. So I thought I'd read you a poem today. I rather like this book. It came out a long time ago, and it's called The Nation's Favourite Comic Poems. I can know you'll see that backwards. Edited by Griff Rhys-Jones from Not the 9 O'Clock News and so many other things. And this is by a guy called Alan Alberg, who was born in 1938. Whether he's still with us or not, I'm not sure. And it's just called Please, Mrs. Butler, and it just made me smile. This is for all you people who are home teaching at the moment. Please, Mrs. Butler, this boy, Derek Drew, keeps copying my work, miss. What shall I do? Go and sit in the hall, dear. Go and sit in the sink. Take your books on the roof, my lamb. Do whatever you think. Please, Mrs. Butler, this boy, Derek Drew, keeps taking my rubber, miss. What shall I do? Keep it in your hand, dear. Hide it up your vest. Swallow it if you like, my love. Do what you think is best. Please, Mrs. Butler, this boy, Derek Drew, keeps calling me rude names, miss. What shall I do? Lock yourself in the cupboard, dear. Run away to sea. Do whatever you can, my flower, but for goodness sake, don't ask me. Loved it. Made me chuckle, made me smile when I was reading that, and I thought, yeah, that'll do. So, Sunday, day of rest for some, day of work for others, and a day when whatever we're doing, whatever we're feeling, the work of the NHS and of care and of all the public services still goes on. So we continue to thank them for all that they're doing. Those carers, you know, we have one or two people in our street who have carers, and they arrive at 7 o'clock in the morning, so I'm told. 9 o'clock at night, every day they're there just doing the job again and again and again. And they're sort of unseen, aren't they? They're unseen until they're not there, and then they're missed. And that's my concern. I said right early in BOBCASTs, you know, next year at all the awards ceremonies, I don't want to see pop stars and film actresses. I want to see police officers and ambulance drivers and paramedics, care assistants, nurses, doctors, all those people on the red carpet being lauded for what they do every day. So this week, I hope it's okay for you. And, I've got a bit of a nasty, I've got to do my tax return. I thought it was a week on Tuesday, my appointment with the accountant. I do it online, on FaceTime. He's going to do it by Zoom this time. Anyhow, I got an email from him about 2 hours ago saying, looking forward to meeting with you on Tuesday afternoon at 3 o'clock, Bob. So I'm going to have to go and get some hard counting done. Jackanory, why am I singing Jackanory? Do you remember that? Anyhow, you take care, look after yourselves, and you're all really special. Thank you for all of you who encourage me as well. It's really good. Love you lots. Watch thou, dear Lord, with those who wake or watch or weep tonight, and give your angels charge over those who sleep. Tend your sick ones, Lord Christ. Rest your weary ones. Bless your dying ones. Soothe your suffering ones. Pity your afflicted ones. Shield your joyous ones. And all for your love's sake. Amen. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye.